All right, I did this barn scene in 1-point perspective, and now I'm going to do it in 2-point perspective. So in 1-point perspective, you can see the face of the barn straight on and the face of the pole barn straight on. You have just one vanishing point, which is over here. And now I'm going to have 2 vanishing points, and I'm going to look at things from the corner. So I will start with my horizon line about in the same spot. And then I'll do my vanishing points on each very edge. And I'll start with the red barn. So I'm going to draw a vertical line where I want the corner of the barn to be. And then I will take top and bottom of that line to the vanishing point. And I'm going to keep my marks light because there's lots of erasing when you're doing 2-point perspective. So it's just like doing a box in 2-point perspective. So I'm going to cut down the sides. So I will find the center of the side that the roof goes on. So this is the side that faces, that has the roof face on it. So I will find the center. And then I will go straight up from that center. Making sure that it's vertical, that it doesn't slant. So I'll make my roof about this tall. Maybe I'll give myself a little guideline for that first slant on this side and this side, trying to copy about the same amount of slantness. So they basically already go to this vanishing point on the left. So now I'm going to take this part of the roof here and the very tip of the roof to the vanishing point on the right. So I've got this part here that's in the middle, and then the very point of the roof. So I will do the bottom part first. I'm going to copy the slant of that previous line for the back. Then I'll copy the slant of the top line for the back part. Now that I've done my erasing, it'll be time to go ahead and put some of the details on the barn. I like to do the siding first. So I'm going to evenly space my siding. Everything goes to the vanishing point except for vertical lines now. So I will make my little marks for where I go to the vanishing point. I will do this right here on this corner line, that center line. On this side, they will go to the vanishing point on the right. And if it's on the left side of the barn or house, it'll go to the vanishing point on the left. The mistake people make is they go ahead and copy that slant all the way up, and it doesn't work. It's no longer going to the vanishing point. You have to remember that each and every line will go to the vanishing point on the left, and it will also go to the vanishing point on the right, each and every time. So the slant changes as you go up the sides of the barn. So this top one up here is not parallel to the one that was drawn at the bottom. They converge at this vanishing point here at the side. I'm going to finish up the siding and I'll be back. Detail is super important when you're doing perspective. It kind of gives the more realism, the better. Once the siding is here, you can cut your doors out again like you did before. So if this is where I want the side door to be, I can just cut it out then with a couple vertical lines, and then give it the vertical line in the center for the center of the door. I can go ahead and do that top part of the door that slides. Continuing to add details to my barn, making sure that anything I add that's vertically is perfectly vertically. And as I accent the edges of the roof, I make sure that they line up to the vanishing point. And as I add the little lines that would be the tin in the tin roof, I make sure they copy the slant of the roof itself. Next, I'll add windows in the side of my barn. So I'm going to cut them out with some vertical lines. And then I just need to erase the siding that shows inside of those lines. Now I'll add the loft door. Again, I'll cut that out just like I did the door, using the siding to help me see where those should be, and adding the vertical lines like I did on the other door. I can do the same road coming out this time. To get for this one I did, the road came straight across because it's 1-point perspective. This is 2-point perspective, so nothing is horizontal anymore. To get a road coming out of the barn, I have to line up the bottom edges of the barn to the vanishing point on the side behind it. So this is lined up with that vanishing point, and then I'm going to pull the pencil away from it. And so then I line up this edge to that vanishing point and I pull the pencil away from it. And so that way it gives me that road. So you can see the difference, how this is a horizontal line and this one is lines that converge at the vanishing point. And then the road that comes between the barn and the pond will come out of the vanishing point on the opposite side of the page then. So then it comes across out of this other vanishing point. So now I have the little driveway and I have the little country road that comes up to there. You had to take 2 lines out of the vanishing point on this side for the pond. It's a nice big pond, so we'll bring it back up here. And then for this, and it ran off the page, but for this edge that comes along the road, it's going to have to line up to this vanishing point on the right then. Now I'm going to give it that organic shape again, kind of round it off and just let my pencil kind of make a little more organic shape. And then I will erase this line here. Now it's time to put some of the decorations or the elements of the pond around. The rocks can be kind of put in like you would have before. We have them just kind of free-handed. Just make sure that things like cattails, that they grow vertically. Don't let them slant in any way. And you can draw those cattails. If you're going to have the ducks swimming, then they're probably going to swim along a line that's a little more diagonal. Boat is going to be like a little box that you alter the shape. So I'll start with the corner of the boat, and then I'll take top and bottom of that corner to the vanishing point. Don't want it quite that tall, so I'll cut it off. Then I'll cut off the back of the boat. And I'll take the top and bottom of this side to this vanishing point over here. Boy, it is really close to being underneath the vanishing point, so it is a tough line to make. And the back of the boat will go to the vanishing point on the right as well. And then I'll finish the top of the box. And I'll finish the front of the box with as vertical a line as I can possibly make. And then I'll alter the shape of this boat. So if you want to draw a field, you want to take the sides of the field to the vanishing point on the right-hand side, and the back and front of the field go to the left vanishing point. And then if you're doing the rows of the field, I'm doing mine across in the direction to the right vanishing point. So that means I'm going to use the right vanishing point to line up with to do these rows of grain or whatever it is growing in there. And then I want to make sure it can be a freshly tilled ground, but if something is growing in it, I want to make sure that the items grow vertically. And we have this other barn. I'm going to do that barn first. And that barn is behind the field, and it's up behind the horizon line, so it's a little bit smaller barn. And I will start it just right here behind the field. It's going to start with a vertical line, just like the other one did. And then the top and the bottom are going to go to the vanishing point. This barn crosses the horizon line. So I won't see the top as much as I did on this last one. It still follows the same steps, like drawing a box in 2-point perspective. And then you're going to take the 2 lines on the side. And so that's just a regular box on the vanishing point. You can get rid of any extra lines. And now you're going to find the center of this front where the roof goes. So there's the center of the front. Straight up from that center is how tall I want my barn point to be. I'm going to do a gable roof this time because they're a little easier. Those are the triangle roofs. Just meet up from the corner to the top. Not too bad. And now this vanishing point here, so the front side's pretty much done, the side that would have gone to the right vanishing point. So now I'm just going to take the top to the left vanishing point. Finish that off like that. Then you copy the slant. There are times where you can't see this top part at all, depending on the angle that it's at. So don't get too worried if that's the case. A little erasing and I'll be right back. I will put vertical siding on it this time. So I just want to make sure that I have my lines nice and vertical. The door, the top of the door will go to the vanishing point. And the sides of the door will be vertical. And I'm going to finish putting, I'm just going to do the same thing I did on this one. I'm going to do the vertical lines and then the tin roof again. Filler items like trees and the animals, you just keep them in proportion to the buildings that they're in. So trees that are by your building will be about the same size as your building, and things that are up by the horizon line will be really tiny. So there's the same general drawing in 2-point perspective. We'll add color in the next video.